So about 4.8 billion years ago, the Earth had just formed and was covered in molten lava. About 1 billion years ago, single-celled organisms started to spring to life. After our atmosphere became oxygenated, more complex life forms began to evolve. Dinosaurs roamed for the next 90 million years before their extinction, and 10 million years ago, mammals started to take over the world. Then about 100,000 to 200,000 years ago is when man began to evolve. But how have humans been around that long, without doing more than playing with rocks? Yet we went from muskets to nuclear bombs in 5 generations. Research is starting to show that humans may have been much more civilized a lot earlier than expected. My name is Jacob, and I've been doing research on ancient civilizations. Today I'm going to talk to you about Göbekli Tepe, the pyramids of Giza, and the Sphinx. Okay, so Göbekli Tepe in Turkish means Potbelly Hill. Okay. Göbekli Tepe in Turkish means Potbelly Hill. The name fits the site perfectly because it's basically just a large hill. At first it was thought to just be a hill, but once archaeologist Klaus Schmidt started to dig it up, in 1995, the world realized it was no regular hill. Rocks, gravel, and soil from surrounding areas had been placed here to bury this megalithic site, but why? Upon further excavation, Klaus realized he might have unearthed the first holy site. 6-meter tall pillars, all these pillars right here, are about 20 feet tall, each weighing up to 12 tons, were erected into 20 circles, equaling more than 200 pillars, which is about also 22 acres worth of land. So this here shows where in Turkey it is. It's at the southern border next to Syria. Okay, so most of the pillars have elaborate designs carved out, which include many predatory animals, which is strange because later on we started to depict animals that we preyed on, which was domesticated animals. But they have animals like lions, scorpions, vultures, and there were a few human depictions, but the ones that they do have depict holy figures or higher life forms. And this one isn't quite human, but it's not quite animal, so it could be a religious, yeah. Anyway, but here shows some of the animals, like a large cat, vultures, a scorpion, and just some other stuff. Okay, so now, how could a bunch of early humans that don't know how to domesticate food manage to construct such a huge megalithic site? Around the same time that this site went up, domesticated food and agriculture actually began to be seen in this area. And it is believed that the same people that built the pyramids and the Sphinx are the ones that brought agriculture and construction to this area. With that in mind, let's take a look at the pyramids of Giza. The accuracy with which the pyramids were built is said to only have been possible in today's age. But how old are they? Researchers believed that they were built between 2589 and 2504 BC, which is about 4,600 years ago. But experts are now looking at the odd erosion on the pyramids that show patterns that indicate that the pyramids were submerged in water. And if this were the case, then that means that the pyramids date back to at least 11,000 years ago. The last cataclysm, that knocked the Earth into a minor ice age, flooded many parts of the world, with 10 million square kilometers said to be covered with today's level of ocean, according to the Smithsonian Magazine. You can see what looks to be water erosion on the pyramids right here. So they're saying that basically almost the entire pyramid was covered in water up to around here. Sorry. So it seems that the pyramids are much older than we originally expected. Well, what about the Sphinx? Here's a picture of what people think happened. Okay. Well, what about the Sphinx? How old is that structure? It's accepted that the Sphinx is about 4,500 years old. But if it's that young, then we should surely know who built the Sphinx. But we don't. We know who found the Sphinx under a hill of sand, which was the pharaoh Thutmose IV. And he was named pharaoh after he found it and then restored it. And you can tell that it's clearly restored because the body length compared to the head size is very disproportionate, and the Egyptians were very spot on and accurate, so they wouldn't have made a mistake like that. If the same people that built the pyramids built the Sphinx, then what did it originally look like? Some speculate that the original head was much larger, as you can see right here, and could have possibly been in the shape of a lion or a dog. But knowing what we know, is it possible that the reason they restored the Sphinx is because of the same water erosion damage that the pyramids have? To be honest, I'm a fan of the idea that humans have been more active than initially thought at such a young evolutionary age. We talked about some ancient temples and the possibility of a completely different past than we were raised on. With these sites in mind, it kind of makes you wonder if places like Atlantis are really a myth.